Hi guys, today I just thought we'd make a nice simple pendant. Coming up with a few ideas, but obviously it takes time because sometimes I've got to try something out, so I thought I'd just make a simple one while my brain's ticking over. So what you're going to need is some black clay or whatever colour you want to use. I'm using black. Well conditioned, and it's on 0 on my pasta machine. Some sort of cutter. I'm using a square one today. Something to dome on. I'm using my trusty egg poacher. Some perfect pearls or mica powder, whichever you want to use. Some UV resin and some foil. I'm being careful because I've got the window open, I don't want it blowing away. I'm using copper leaf, and that's it. So get your stuff together and we'll get started. Okay guys, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to do my pendant in a diamond, like so. So what I'm going to do is mask off half of my clay. I don't want to cut it out yet because it might stretch a little bit. So I'm just going to take off these edges here, just to use it in a bit. Oh, and I know that's where my cutter's going to go, so I'll just do a slight impression. Come out. And what I'm going to do is put a piece of paper down, corner to corner, and just lightly smooth it in. So that it sticks. And I'm going to take my foil and lay it on this side. And smooth it down. Take the excess off. I've just done this so I just get a nice straight line. You could cut your clay in half if you like. Oh. Oh, fingers and thumbs today. Let's use this. I'm going to crackle this in a minute so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just as long as I've got a neat-ish line. And we are going to be putting something down the middle, so don't worry too much. My roller, and I don't really want to stretch my clay out too much, so I'm just gently rolling to get it to crackle. again, I'm keeping that piece of paper on just to protect my other side from the leaf. And we can take that off now. And then I'm going to take, find it, one of my other blades. Let's give it a wipe. And I'm going to put a pattern on this side, just using the dull edge of my blade. I'm just going to put some lines in, pretty random. Just going to keep going over and making some impressions in it. Oh, we've got a cat, thank you. I think that's enough. There we go. So now I'll take my cutter, line up my corners so it's running corner to corner, and cut it out. Give it a wiggle just to make sure there's none of them funny pieces on. And I'll just take this excess off. I'll just check my edges, make sure there's no crumbs. It's a nice smooth finish. And then get my dormer. Try and get it central. I'm just gonna get my pendant to nicely dorm. I'm not going to press it down. I think I'll just do it like so that those two edges are the most curved, like so. And then I'm just going to pop this in the oven. Oh, got a bit of a crumb there. Pop this in the oven for, I'll do 15 minutes just to make sure everything's hardened up nicely. And then we'll come back and put our finishing touches on. Hey guys, we're part baked now. Just be careful because your foil might not be totally stuck down. We'll address that later when we put some resin on it. But first what we're going to do is put a bail on the back, and then we're going to put some little balls down the centre and press them in with a ball tool. Now it's entirely up to you. You can use your scraps and make some little balls with the leftover scraps that had the copper foil on, or you can just make some black scraps, which is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of mica powder with some resin and just dot a little bit in the middle of them. So it's entirely up to you which one you want to do. But first we'll put the bail on. And I've just got a bit of scrap that was left over from what I trimmed off. Just find my blade. Where have you gone? I'm at it again, losing things when they're right in front of me. There you go. So I'm just going to cut a little rectangle out. Sure the edges are smooth and it's straight, and I'll just in fact turn it over because the sides are a little bit messy. I'll just take that little slither off. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing again, can you? Keep forgetting I need to move up. Yeah, I've just taken a little slither off the edges to thin it a bit. And I just need to find the little... I don't know where my little roller is, so I'll just use this bit of skewer. Just fold it over my skewer to make that shape. Flatten those edges. And I'll just put a little bit of bakeable, medium, bacon bond, whichever brand you've got. Oh, there's a little bit too much, wasn't it? Just wipe some of that off. Oh, I made a right mess. Just not with it today, guys, at all. Don't know what's up with me. I think I've got quarantine blues. I'm going to pop this here. Should have no gunk on my fingers. And I'll just take my little ball tool and do my usual just to give it a press. There, nice bail now. Can you see that? So that's our bail. And then I've already rolled some little balls out, just using the scrap, just taking a tiny pinch, and you know, they don't have to be brilliant, and just making little circles. And I'll get my ball tool and I'll get my little pokey tool to pick them up. That one will be a bit big. I'm going to need quite a few of these, so you can see what we're doing. We're just putting a little ball on. I'm just going to do them pretty random, size-wise. Now you could use a little bacon bond if they're not sticking for you, but mine aren't so bad. Bit of fluff. And I'm just making a little dimple with my ball tool. Trying to hold it so you can see it. Let's put one here. Oh, it doesn't want to stick. Stick it to my fingers instead of sticking to the clay. Oh, done it again. My hands are quite warm today, so weather here has been really nice past few days. Some lovely sun, much needed sun after all the rain we've been having. I've done it again. They just don't want to stick. Come back. I'm trying to do it with my pokey tool, then I don't get a fingerprint on it. I think I'm just going to put a bit of bacon bond here. Because I'm worried that with that foil they're not going to stick. And I've lost one somewhere. Oh, there it is. Start again. Get off. They're sticking to each other and not sticking. I'll just put a tiny bit of bacon bond on, see if that helps. Oh yeah. This is what I didn't want. I didn't want bacon bond oozing out everywhere. Leave some mark on your clay. I suppose I can rub it off after. Let's keep going. Get off. These are being a bit pesky today, aren't they? A little bit of bacon bond. Put a couple of these bigger ones on. Yeah, I've kept mine kind of random sizes. I thought it'd look better with the crackle. I'll put this other big one up this end. Oh. That one's split a bit. I'm going to take it off. There we go, guys. You get the idea. I'm going to make some more balls and do the rest. And I'll be back in a sec. Okay, guys. I'm all ready now with my little dimples. I'm just going to pop this back in for half an hour or so. I just cleaned my edge up here with a wet wipe. Then I wouldn't have any bacon bond stuck on it. Right, I'll pop this back in and I'll see you in a minute. Hi guys, I'm all baked, nice and bonny. The copper foil is, it's kind of done don't know how to describe it. The colour's changed with the heat. There's a posh word for it that potters use, isn't there? Can't remember what it is, but it looks really cool. Right, what I'm going to do now is I've lightly sanded my edges just to make sure there was no rough bits, by the way. I'm just going to put a thin coat of resin over this foil just to protect it. Again, I'm using UV resin, and I'm just going to do one thin coat. And I've got my brush that's slightly damp with acetone. I'm just going to give it a thin coat. Just be careful up against my beads so that I'm not getting it all over the beads. Just wiggle your brush up to them. There we go. And now that colour's changed. Now it's had resin on. It's changed back. How weird's that? Just check that I've got no bits. Oh, bit of cat fluff as per usual. Just put a little bit on that end. Yeah, I'm just going to do a nice thin coat. I don't want it super domed or super shiny. I just want to protect the metal foil. I'll just give it a little flick with my lighter just to make sure there's no bubbles in there, because there was one there I could see. There we go. Right, I'll just pop this into cure. Be back in a sec. Okay guys, ready for the next step. What we're going to do is we're going to take, don't do this in your window or it'll go off before you get it in. I'm just going to put a blob of UV resin. I'm just using a stack of post-it notes. It's easy to just rip them off and chuck the top one in the bin then. I'm just going to take a little bit of mica powder and mix it in. Don't need a lot, just a little tint. And I've just got this, it's called Perfect Bronze, but I actually think it looks more coppery. So I'm just using this. Just make sure that and what we're going to do is, make sure my hands are clean. We're just going to get a tiny dot and put it in our little dimples in our beads. Don't need a lot, just a little dot, and swirl it round. You can always go back and put a little bit more in if you think it needs it. That one's quite deep. And I'll just check. Let's put a little bit more in that one. That one. Okay. It's okay. A little bit more in that one. A little bit more in that one. Hello, miss. Oh, we've got another cat. Doris's day today. Gonna have to get down this. Right guys, I've done my dots and I'll just pop this in for a final cure into the UV lamp. Just wipe that. Looks like I've got a little bit on there. Got it. Alright, I'll pop this in for 5 minutes just to make sure that those dimples are cured, and then we'll come back and string it up. See you in a minute. Right guys, and we're all done. You can see the little metallic dots in the beads. So we've got a nice matte side and then a shiny side, and of course we've got our bail. I'm just going to use there's about 20 inches of rubber cord glued onto my magnetic clasps. I've done quite a decent inventory in the description lists now, so you know exactly what I've used, and the shops, I've put a couple of UK shops down, sorry for everybody else, but people keep asking, and I've done a link to my favourite store on AliExpress where I get my cord and my findings and things from. So yeah, just make sure you check the description guys if you need to know anything. But yeah, there we go. Lovely, nice pendant. You could easily make some matching earrings or a bangle similar. You know, just have a play as you do. And I shall see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.